Most people know about anthropology because of TV shows such as Bones, which shows a young female forensics anthropologist working with bones to solve murders. But is this truly what anthropology is? Or is it something like what we see in Jurassic Park, where people go out to the desert and dig up dinosaur bones for long periods of time? Anthropology has four main categories: biological anthropology, cultural anthropology, linguistics, and archaeological anthropology. Biological anthropology focuses on the behavioral aspects of human beings. It has also been considered a physical anthropology. It focuses on evolution, studying primates, and the biology of human remains, which includes their diet and diseases. The evolution of humans has been linked to primates in many ways. The humans and primates fall under the same suit and have very similar characteristics, such as opposable thumbs, large brains, flat faces, and so on. These develop through the process of adaptation, which is where populations respond to long-term stresses by a genetic change. Biological anthropology is most times linked with cultural anthropology. Cultural anthropology is focused on cultural variations among humans. Cultural anthropologists study the living human beings and can be seen in many areas such as the food and trade industries. They use the question of why people do what they do to help them guide their research. They can also study things such as folklore and ethnology. Ethnology is the study of characteristics of people and the differences between them. More specifically, there is a study surrounding a place in Yemen by the Red Sea. The research has revealed that the population participates in a competitive social practice where people compete with one another by trying to throw the best party. They throw parties almost every day, and if a person from outside were to enter, they would become a partial member of the group by accepting the food offered to them. Anthropologists pay particular attention to customs, traditions, rituals, and ceremonies. Each group of people has a different custom, which is defined as a habit of social convention, which can become a tradition if it is passed on through generations. Rituals, however, are related to a rite that is procedure in accordance with a prescribed rule or custom, whereas a ceremony is done with an intention, usually religious or spiritually focused. The third category of anthropology is linguistics anthropology. It studies how language influences social life and culture. To understand how language impacts culture, you need to first understand how language works. A phonetic is defined as a sound or gesture, regardless if the sound leads to a meaning of the word, whereas a phononym is spoken sound that when swapped with a different phononym changes the word entirely. For example, top holds t, a, p, but changing the phoneme p to t changes the word to tot. The smallest part that conveys the meaning is called a morpheme. For example, boxes is box-es. One form of linguistics anthropology is code switching. This is shown by how people change the way they speak and act depending on who they are with and where they are speaking. For example, you would not use the same slang and words you use with your friends that you would when you're talking to your teacher or boss. In class, we studied the linguistics anthropology of folklore and how many stories are passed down through generations and can change depending on their environment. For example, the ghost hitchhiker. This story claims to have been set centuries ago, but in reality, it is a fairly recent story that has been passed around through the teenagers. It is changed based on the city and how it relates to the community. Finally, we have archaeology. Archaeology is defined as the study of human history through excavation sites and analysis of artifacts and physical remains. Most people know about anthropology because of the large impact it has on social media today. If you have seen any form of anthropology in the news or TV shows, it is most likely this one. One example of this would be the study of the ancient city Azoria, Greece, where they found many buildings and plots that explained how the people lived back in the early Iron Age. Only for an unknown reason, they found that people just disappeared. No evidence of war or death happened. There was a large chunk of time that was missing within the evidence found at the site. I was once told that an anthropologist would save the world, not necessarily by hand, but through their experience. This is something to consider. Anthropology, although it focuses on the past and our history, provides a deeper insight into how society is able to function through our past and present. It is important to use the relationships between countries and cultures to grow our economy and become successful. This needs an anthropological perspective.